Daniel Cormier.
Injuries are a problem, but you have injuries and then you have an injury, like what happened at UFC 261. 20 seconds into the fight, you throw that kick. It is literally one of the nastiest things I've ever seen in my life. Take me to that moment when you're in the octagon and that happens, and how quickly you realize, like, this is really bad. Seriously, because I've watched your documentary, right? And I've heard you talk about it a little bit and kind of go through the process, the recovery. But in that moment, are you thinking, oh, my God, this is what happened to Anderson?
First thing, that's literally what went through my mind. So
really?
I mean, you know, the long story, well, I won't make it that long, but so I never really did calf kicks before. You know, that wasn't a thing, right, when we were fighting. And then Anthony Smith came down to spar with me. He was getting ready to fight on the same card, and I calf kicked him in practice, and he went down. I'm like, bro, that was crazy. One kick, he went down. He said his calf happened to be sore. I'm like, so I go into that Uriah Hall fight. We're circling, 17 seconds in. I'm just like, I'm going to kick his calf as hard as I can.
See if I can put him down.
Yeah, and I kicked as hard as I could. I remember the sound. And the sound to me was like, holy shit, that was a hard kick. Like, there's no way he's not feeling that right now. And as I put my leg back, I'm looking at him in the eyes. I'm like, I know you got a poker face on right now. I know that hurt. And then next thing I know, I don't remember really falling, but I've seen the videos. I remember looking at my leg and on the floor, and the first thing was like confusion. Like, what the fuck? How was this my leg? The only time I've ever seen that was Anderson's leg, right? And I was in there for that. How the hell is this my fucking leg there right now? And then I remember him being in so much pain. And now I had no adrenaline. It was 17 seconds in. I wasn't even sweating yet. So it was like we walk outside right now and just kick a pole as hard as you can. Snap your leg in half. Your bones go through your calf muscles and out your skin. Like, it was the worst pain I can't explain how terrible it was. And I was just, please give me pain medication. Please, screaming and yelling. I was a little biatch, you know, and it was completely awful. And I didn't know, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that was my leg. I still can't believe it. How weird, how crazy is it? It's unbelievable.
I literally could not look at it. If you watched the broadcast, I saw it happen.
Bro.
Then I was asking Joe and John, I was like, is it bad? And they were like, it's really bad.
And it also happens to be the only compound fracture.
Because the bone came out.
So when I seen that, because they didn't show that on the UFC replays. I think Monster Energy they have this angle.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw that angle.
Yeah, they have an angle where you could see the bones and the bone, my tibia or fibula bones flopping, coming out and spiking through like knives. It's pretty nasty, and all the blood and everything. The UFC didn't capture that, but I seen that. And when I seen that, and then the doctor's like, he can't feel a pulse. He couldn't feel a pulse on my ankle. And that means, you don't have blood supply down there, so now, amputation. I started thinking, am my leg gonna be all right? I was just losing my mind. It was a complete nightmare.
How hard was that for the family in the back?
Oh my God.
Your wife and your parents, to see that, this sport has done so much positively, but to see that, how was that when they got you back through the curtain?
So they were trying to rush me out because they were worried about possibly losing my leg. And so I just, but I wouldn't leave without my wife. So I was screaming, that's, my wife's name. I'm not leaving until my wife gets here. So they ended up finding her way down. And they got her into the ambulance and, got to the hospital. They put me on all the pain medication they could, and they couldn't, the surgeon wasn't coming until the next morning. So now you have the whole night. So they were just pumping me full of morphine, and it just wasn't enough. And then they ended up putting me asleep to put the bones back in. So to clean it up, hopefully, deal with any possible infections, put the bones back in. And then they wake me up, and the pain was just brutal. I was screaming all night until the surgery.
Christ.
I remember Dana comes in, which is really nice of him, and I've never asked Dana for anything. I'm not, the guy gets asked for everything. You know, as a champion, I never asked him for anything. I asked him for some extra money, but I was pretty I was pretty timid with that too. But I just was like, Dana, please just make sure I have a good doctor. You know, I want to be able to walk again, play with my kids. My biggest thing, I could cry thinking about it. I'm not going to cry though. I just wanted to be able to play with my kids again and be able to walk and do things like that. And that's kind of where my mind was at that point. Fighting on that night, and even like weeks after. That was really it. I wanted to just be able to like do that.
Life can change very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? And we do this job that we love so much, and it was hard to watch that. But what was even harder was watching you go through the recovery of it. And I remember in the beginning, like, we would call you, and I would talk to you on FaceTime at times, and you just sit on this couch, right? You're just kind of sitting on this couch, and life is happening around you, right? Because I'm pretty sure your kids are still doing athletics, and everybody's doing things, but you can't really participate in the way that you normally do. When you were in the process or in the midst of recovery, was it harder mentally or physically? Because for me, I think mentally I'd probably have a harder time dealing with not being able to go to CJ's practices, not being able to go watch your daughter in gymnastics, or, you know, it'd be hard.
It was physically, it was the hardest thing I've ever been through for sure. I mean, the pain, if any time I had to get from laying down to having to go to the bathroom was one of the hardest things you could ever imagine. The pain of the blood rushing down to that leg, you know, now like because the bones came out and through everything, the nerves were all damaged. So like the nerve pain that I would have and the, like, you know, it was just crazy. Like nobody should have to feel that type of pain. It was awful. So the pain was very bad for a very long time, and my prayer was just like, I just need to be a bearable type of pain. But I was, you know, I'm pretty like optimistic, and you know, I was, you know, but it was tough. Just to answer your question, it was tough mentally as well as physically.
Did you think you were going to come back?
I wasn't thinking about I wasn't thinking about that for a long time, and then at some point it started kind of becoming a thing in my head where like I need to come back. I need to show that I could come back from this, not just for me, but to my kids and everybody else.
And when you did come back, you said, I'm going to throw a leg kick. It'll be the first thing I do.
Yeah.
But then you couldn't get yourself to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
And you took a whole bunch of leg kicks.
Damn, Brad Tavares, man. I thought he was a good guy. Calf kicked the crap out of me the whole fight. He broke my other leg.
Really?
Yeah, he actually fractured my tibia on this side, my hairline fractured, not fully fractured. But kicking both my legs. And, you know, for me, my defense, if someone kicks me, we kick right back. You know, you make them pay for that kick. And he kicked me the first time, and I was thinking I was going to be able to throw it, and I just could not throw it. I threw it one time in that fight, maybe like second round, and it was like, you could see, if you watch it, like I was trying to do it, but I wasn't throwing it hard. It was just like I did it. I just wanted to say I did it, but I couldn't. It was crazy. I couldn't. My body wouldn't do it.
You could tell that there was a hesitancy to do that. But then the following fight against Bruno Silva, all you did was kick. What switched?
I don't know. I needed to get that monkey off my back. You know, I needed to be able to kick again. You know, and show I could do it.